Oh, shit. I can't find my hat. Where is that thing? Bottom of the closet? No. I swear to God this never happens. Top of the closet. Ah, there it is. It was under a hoodie at the top. I knew that. Today we'll go over Luka making his return to Dallas, Mike Trout being robbed by a fan. You bet your ass we'll be talking about Kyren, Lacy, and Nico Iamaleava. And we have our first ever HN'P Mock Draft, 1 round, trades and everything. Let's hop right into it. Number 149, last episode with this intro, which is honestly my favorite one, from Daniel Brown. Thank you very much. Let's get it on.
Live from Central Pennsylvania with your host Ian DiCarlo, this is Hoagies and Pierogis.
The ski stash! The ski stash!
Welcome to the Big Ten. Beezer's going drink, man. Let's go!
So yes, Luka made his return to Dallas, and thank God it was at 7:30 and not some absurd time like 10:30. Oh my God. You have to feel so bad for Luka. He was bawling his eyes out in their tribute video to him. You know that he was not going to go anywhere unless he was traded, and that it sucks to see him in such emotional pain. But he didn't unalive his head at the fire Nico chance. Really makes him wish that he was still majority owner of the Mavericks just to get rid of him. He doesn't want to deal with this problem at all, and he is so annoyed that he cannot do anything about it. So what does Luka do? He composes himself after that video. They try to get him all out of sorts. They try to distract him with that. He locks in and drops 45 on the Mavs. That is the funniest possible outcome. At least Dallas has Paige Buchers now? Oh, this guy on Twitter, Gary Knox, tweeted on September 24th, 2013, almost 12 years ago. Remember the name, Paige Buchers, 6th grade. Think Diana Taurasi, best 6th grader girl I've ever seen, St. Louis Park. What the hell? That's crazy to determine that from watching her in 6th grade, that she would be the number 1 pick in the WNBA draft. What the hell? That is some crystal ball level shit. What a mess in Dallas. Oh my God. Nico should be fired by the end of the season. 100%. Especially if they don't make it into the playoffs. And on Tuesday, Nico Harrison doubled down on his trade of Luka Doncic, saying, defense wins championships. There's no regrets on the trade. Part of my job is to do the best thing for the Mavericks, not only today, but also in the future. And some of the decisions I'm going to make are going to be unpopular. That's my job, and I have to stand by it. This is more than just unpopular. This is downright idiotic. I honestly think that the Kings could probably beat them in the play-in tournament. And if they do, it's over. Nico, you done. All right, last little bit from NBA here. Jokic became the 3rd player in NBA history to average a triple-double throughout the course of a season. Russell Westbrook did it 4 times, I believe, and then Oscar Robertson did it once. If that doesn't keep your job safe as the head coach, then I don't know what will. What is going on? All right. Let's get into baseball. Give you some more context behind the hat. A couple weeks ago, it was announced that the Chesapeake Bay Sox, formerly the Bowie Bay Sox before this year, they're still the AA affiliate of the Orioles, were changing their logo for Women's History Month to the Oyster Catchers. They made shirts and hoodies with the logo, and all of the proceeds went towards cervical cancer research, which is why they were doing it. But unfortunately, they didn't have any hats. I got this hat from a Twitter link, so I didn't even know if it was going to come or not. And unfortunately, my money did not go towards the good cause. It went to some random dude on Twitter that was making these hats. But to be honest with you, it's a good quality hat. Like, this is stitched in here. This isn't like iron on or anything. It's pretty decent quality. What's even funnier is that it was shipped from Gaylord, Illinois. But yes, it was a great one to add to the collection. You know what? Maybe I should actually donate to that to whatever research fund they were donating to. It might be a good idea. All right, a couple little things to clean up here before we talk about the whole Trout situation. Mark Ripperger. Mark Ripperger called the second ever perfectly called game in the scorecard era on Thursday. I think this is the one that acts like, well, he doesn't act like he's like stabbing the player that just struck out. You can see it on Pitching Ninja all the time.
Yamamoto's 1-2. This time he rings him up.
The Twins unveiled a Joe Mauer statue, and that is how you do a statue. Full body bust mid-play. That is how you do it. Bigger than life. That's what it's kind of supposed to be. I really hope that McCutcheon's statue can even hold a candle to this one. And nutting is so cheap that it probably would be a wax statue. With all the horrible statues that have been going around recently, I did not have high hopes for this one. All right, Aaron Judge was announced as the captain for Team USA in the World Baseball Classic next year. And along with that, the Olympics are going to be held primarily at the Dodger Stadium for baseball. Would Judge have made a difference 3 years ago? Maybe, but yeah, they definitely lost to Japan in a very low-scoring game with Ohtani striking out Trout to finish it out. With Ohtani striking out Trout to finish it out. Way too many outs in that sentence. I guess the Phillies are the gender reveal team now. First Stott wearing batting gloves for a fan, and then Trey Turner handed a blue bat to Bryce Harper to tell him his fourth kid was a boy. That would distract me way too much if I were Harper. Oh, the Rockies City Connect uniforms. These look awesome and are a huge step above those green atrocities from whenever those first iterations. That was bad. And these are pullover jerseys. But MLB The Show somehow couldn't figure out how to get rid of buttons and the line from the jerseys, and they're coming out as button-up jerseys in the video game. MLB, come on. It's not that hard. Okay, let's get into the Mike Trout situation. A fan ripped a foul ball out of Mike Trout's glove on Saturday, and instead of being banned from all 30 ballparks, they got to meet with Trout after the game, and Trout signed a ball for the kid's son. And not the kid's son, the guy's son.
Is that the ball right here? Yeah, that's the ball. Oh, yeah. Can we start? Well, that did not impact the game. No. I actually found out a rule. It's like free game. Like, as soon as you go on the stands, doesn't have to happen. But no, it was the way you acted, like, apologetic, like, and then I felt the kind of that when you got kicked out.
Man, MLB really does bend the knee to the Dodgers. I mean, this dude was holding on to Trout's glove and everything. It was like the same exact thing as what happened with the Mets, or not the Mets fans, the Yankees fans that grabbed onto Betts' glove and ripped the ball out of there. Grabbed onto the glove, yanked the ball out of the glove. Does intention really matter here? The same outcome happened. Just because the fan is apologetic for it doesn't mean that the same consequences should not apply to him. That doesn't make any sense to me. And you know what? Shelve the rest of that because it wasn't that interesting. That kind of transitions pretty well into this. Kyren Lacy was found dead Saturday night in Houston. What the fuck? I found out after someone commented, "You happy now, lame-ass dude?" on the clip from number 136, appropriately titled Crash and Burn, that I posted about Lacy causing the accident right after it happened. This was my response to that comment. That sucks, but oh well, he won't be able to cause any more accidents that unalive people. And I mean that. And it was a decently funny bit too. I stand by it. Here it is. Marks the 1 year anniversary of me falling through a ceiling. Yet I still didn't crash and burn as hard as Penn State, the Vikings, or Kyren Lacy. Penn State waited until the last minute to implode. The Vikings didn't wait at all. And Kyren Lacy waited 2 days after leaving the scene of a fatal accident without rendering aid or calling emergency services to announce for the NFL draft. Drew Aller killed any chance that Penn State had at winning against Notre Dame, while Lacy killed any chance he had to play in the NFL. Sam Darnold was seeing ghosts, while Kyren Lacy will be haunted by one forever. Kyren Lacy, Kylo Ren. Weren't you supposed to kill your father and not an innocent bystander according to the movies? So the comments on social media were so divided, with one half of people saying defending him or wishing him peace, and the other half of people saying this is karma / justice served. There was even a comment on the clip telling me to delete the clip talking about him after the accident. I just made fun of him when it happened. I'm not happy he's dead, but it doesn't impact me in the slightest, so I'm leaving all of it up. It's not my fault he did what he did, so his decisions will not impact what I do. He didn't actually murder anybody. You know who else didn't actually murder anybody, but he was on the hook and killed himself over it? Hitler. But you know what? I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's look at him through the lens of a more positive person. How about Jackie Robinson, since it's Jackie Robinson Day today? This is a quote directly from Jackie Robinson. "A life is not important except in the impact it has on other lives." Well, even Jackie Robinson would have hated Kyren Lacy. The longer the day went on Sunday, the less people were defending him. And you know what? It is a shame. It really is. Something that could have been avoided completely was the cause of 2 deaths. And that sucks. He was 24 years old. If he didn't cause that accident in the first place, he probably would have been in the tier like right above Luther Burden and would have had a chance to go in the first round of the draft upcoming here next week. That must have weighed on him heavily, and everyone thought that was the sole reason he took his own life. Well, it was weighing on him heavily. We found out on Sunday night that he unalived himself while running from the cops. Now I really don't feel bad at all. He got what was coming for him, apparently. For shooting at his family and then fleeing the scene in his car when the police were called, which was the reason for the chase, and then shooting himself like a pussy after he crashed his car. Suicide is never the answer, folks. Someone said he was facing up to like a maximum of 5 years for manslaughter, and it probably would have been less since he was not involved in the accident, but was the cause of it, and had no priors whatsoever. At the end of the day, Kyren Lacy was a piece of shit and unalived himself because he couldn't face the consequences. You know, if he had just unalived himself because he was sad about the accident and his upcoming sentencing and with the draft upcoming, I might have had a sliver of pity for him. But he did one last stupid thing before yeeting himself off the face of the earth, and I don't have 1 ounce of remorse for him whatsoever. As someone else whose career is 6 feet under now is Nico Iamaleava. Last Friday, Iamaleava sat out of Tennessee's first practices on Friday because he wanted a new deal. Obviously, complete bullshit. Complete horse hockey. But they were moving on from him. They decided this pretty fast. Good for Tennessee for not letting this bullshit fly. Hopefully he doesn't follow in Lacy's tracks and unalives himself for getting cut from the team when all he had to do was show up to practice. But I guess he doesn't have to sit out a year, so that at least lessens the impact a little more. But like, why? If he doesn't even have to sit out the year and is able to play somewhere else right away, what is the point of the declaration for the transfer portal being in December before the playoffs? It doesn't make any sense if he can just turn around and go play for another school right away. Allegedly, he did try to get more money from Tennessee before their playoff game. I guess his dad and his agent are in his ear, like making these stupid decisions for him, so I really don't know how much he's involved. But he took their advice and didn't show up to practice. So, again, here's another person I really cannot feel that bad for. What was he expecting to get out of it? Like, these players should sign 4-year contracts, and that should be it. Like, this is not a job. Like, you're not getting paid because of your performance on the field. Well, hold up. You're not getting paid because you're playing football. You're getting paid because they're promoting your likeness to promote the college. Like, just because you're doing better doesn't mean you should be paid more. If the college is pushing your image just as much as they were before, you should be getting paid the same amount. It doesn't matter if you play better or even worse in that case. Something needs to be done where this doesn't happen. And even Miami came out and was saying, like, we're not going to tolerate this, so you can either, show up or get out. And good on these schools for not letting this bullshit happen to them. And now it's being reported that Nico is headed to UCLA, according to Colin Cowherd. I'm told moments ago Nico Iamaleava is going to UCLA. Family still claims it's not about the money. Bullshit. It's about the Vol football offense. I was not told what the Bruins are paying. Well, if you were more worried about doing better in the game on offense instead of worried about money, then maybe things would have been worked out better for you. I don't know what's going on with you. Nico, all the Nicos in sports right now need to check themselves. Okay, in some lighter news, Ryan Day's wife claims that he has never once dyed his beard. Well, has he dyed it more than once? I just shaved yesterday, but I had a lot of gray in my beard, and I'm not the head coach of a program that has national championship aspirations every single season. That is some high-pressure shit. I think it's bullshit. His beard is darker than whatever Kyren Lacy is seeing right now. All right, let's move on to the NFL. Vrabel established the 4 simplest rules ever for the team, and Twitter is like, he's laying down the law. We need this. No. This is just the simple stuff that is seemingly missing from college football these days. Nowadays. The rules were hoods down in meetings. All right, that should be a given. No cell phones in meetings or in the weight room. That should also be a given. Or coughing to hide a phone going off. He really harped on that a lot, so he must hate that. Be on time was number 3, and respect everyone was number 4. That's basic stuff, people. I'm sure Mayo even said the last 2. Okay, let's stick to the Patriots. Diggs is looking great, just under 6 months removed from ACL surgery, doing all these crazy cuts, running on the field like he is. It's a miracle what modern medicine can do. And then also, did the Patriots leak a hint on accident when they posted about Vollmer opening up a flag football camp in Germany? Honestly, that 2-tone number on a white jersey would go pretty hard. I posted about this on Reddit. What is so wrong with the 2-tone number? I think it would look great. Are you kidding me? We'll just have to see what happens within the next week here. All right, some quarterback news. Flacco is back with the Browns on a 1-year, $4 million deal worth up to $13 million. This basically confirms that Hunter is going to Cleveland here. And then Derek Carr is possibly looking at shoulder surgery, but it wasn't disclosed as to why. Why can't he stay healthy? That also does not make any sense to me. There's some confusing things in this episode. Okay, so with that news, the Flacco news, the first little bit of this mock draft should be pretty chalk, honestly. I don't know how many trades there are going to be, but let's just do the first round, trades and everything. I'm going to control all the teams, and I'm going to try to do what's best for each of them. That way I can actually make trades that I think will happen or should happen. All right, let's hop into that. Okay, so we are doing the mock draft on PFF. I've heard this is the best mock draft simulator, but I mean, obviously I have no idea. So let's turn this to all. And then round 1, speed, slow. I mean, we're doing it. So I will try to get through this as fast as possible. But no promises. Okay. So how do we do this? I should have probably done a practice one before we did all of this. From all accounts, Cam Ward is going to the Titans at number 1.
Okay, so y'all already said Ridley, Jamar, Justin.
I think Jason Jamar is like the top.
And then for my last one, Traylon Burks. And that ain't AJ Brown's a dog, but he's not Calvin Ridley.
I don't think anyone's going to trade up to try to get him. And I don't think anyone's going to try to trade up above like the Titans or I don't think anyone's going to trade above the Browns or the Giants to try to get Carter or Hunter. It's really, I mean, are those two even worth moving up so much and losing so much draft capital? The top players in this draft are not the best. I mean, there's only like the top 3 I would say would be Hunter, Carter, and then probably Genty behind them. I mean, Ward might be in that top 3, but it would be close. It would be very close. So Browns, from all accounts, this time, like I said, they just signed Joe Flacco. So I'm going to go Travis Hunter there. This one is unfortunate as it is for me, being a Patriots fan. I'm going to go Abdul Carter here for the Giants. Having a front of Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, and Carter there, I mean, you cannot argue that is elite. Okay, so what are we going to do here? What are the Patriots going to do? I am very tempted to trade back, but like I said, who in the top 10 would be willing to move up to number 4 and be willing to give so much up for a player that they could possibly get in the top 10? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. This right here, I have come around on the Will Campbell pick. So I'm going to go Will Campbell for the Patriots. This one, let's see. The Jaguars need wide receiver, tight end, defensive interior, and safety. Obviously, they're not going to go safety this high in the draft. But McMillan or Graham, I think, would be good picks for them. I think since they already have Brian Thomas, they might actually lean Matthew Golden a little bit more than McMillan. But I don't know. I don't know if they want to go defense or not. I didn't think about this too much outside of the Patriots. Would they trade back? You know what? I think someone would trade back with the Jaguars. Someone is going to try to trade up. Let's go Saints. Well, how do I do this? No. Oh, what the hell? Okay, Saints. Trade pick number 9. Pick number 93. And then the Jaguars, number 5. They're not interested in trading for this pick. What the fuck? I guess they're just not interested at all for all of the Saints picks. What the fuck? How about a 2026 round 2? How about that? Number 9, a 2026 round 2, and number 93 this year. I'm just going to force trade. Oh, what? All right, maybe we won't do trades and all that. God damn it. Was this not the best draft mock draft simulator to choose? All right, well, that's some bullshit. Go back, I guess. Draft a player. I really do believe that Golden would be the best pick for them. I don't know, but with their Trayvon Walker pick, would they go like maybe another Walker? I don't know. This is a little bit tough here. Since they just got rid of Evan Ingram, I'm going to pick Tyler Warren for him. I think Matthew Golden there is a little bit high. I'm not too sure in McMillan. A 4.58 is not detrimental to me whatsoever. Mike Evans ran a 4.5 something. And that's who he gets comped to the most. Whoops. So, Raiders. I think the Raiders are going to shake things up a little bit. I think they're going to be the ones that pick Shadur Sanders at number 6. They're kind of doing something similar to what the Falcons did last year when they picked Penix, even though they just signed Cousins. So there's precedent for it, that's for sure. And I think Sanders could definitely benefit sitting on the bench for a year behind someone that has been around the league and who knows how to get back onto the field after sucking for a little bit. So let's go. Okay, Jets. Jets just lost Tyron Smith because he just re-signed with the Cowboys on a one-day deal and is retiring with them. So I'm going to pick Membu for the Jets. Carolina Panthers. Panthers need something. Panthers need something flashy. But I don't think they would benefit much from McMillan or Genty. Maybe a... Why is PFF so high on Luther Burden? What the fuck? I could see Jalen Walker going to the Panthers here. All right, Saints. So the Saints missed out on Sanders since I couldn't trade up to pick him. So they are stuck with... And I think they'll make the reach. Where is... Well, this isn't good that he's so far down the board. Unless I missed him completely. There we go. I think the Saints... Jackson Dart 142, but the average draft position is 39.7. Holy shit, that is a reach. You know what? Would they? I don't know if they would go quarterback here or not. I could see them, since they're probably... I don't know. Running back, wide receiver, defensive line. They still have Kamara, though, so they wouldn't take Genty. Although Genty still being on the board at number 9 is crazy to me. Would they go Mason Graham? You know what? I think they would go McMillan. I really do. They kind of really need a wide receiver, especially since Olave is... I mean, if he gets another concussion, he's retiring. Now, the Bears. The Bears end up lucking out and get Genty at number 10. They don't have to move anywhere for him. For the 49ers, they just lost a whole bunch of defense. So I feel like a Barron or a Starks here would be good for them. Maybe a Jihad Campbell. It just depends. Do they like Barron or Will Johnson more? I think I'm going to go... Just because they lost Hufanga doesn't mean they should draft a safety this high. Will Johnson has been linked to them more than Jahdae Barron has, so we'll go with that. Okay, Cowboys. Out on the top offensive prospects. I think maybe they end up going... Mason Graham would be a good pick for them, I think. He would definitely help Parsons. Barron would be a good pick for them. I think Diggs is coming back off a ACL tear, isn't he? Or something. Walter Nolan. I think they go... they do like their Michigan players. You know what? I'm going to go Mason Graham here. So for the Dolphins, guard, tackle, defensive interior, and cornerback. Barron screams Miami Dolphins to me, especially if they're going to trade... I just had his name in my head. Jalen Ramsey. Especially if they're going to trade Jalen Ramsey, I think they'll go Barron. Colts. Okay. This one is a little bit interesting. They need a whole bunch of stuff. Tight end, guard, edge, linebacker, safety. Who do we go with? Do they like Igbuka enough? I mean, they did just take that other receiver last year, didn't they? I mean, would you really reach on a tight end this high? Since Colston Loveland is there. You know what? Let's go Colston Loveland. It seems like they really need a tight end. Falcons. Falcons were expected to go defense last year, so I'm going to go Walter Nolan here for him. I think they need some kind of pressure. Actually, can I go back and change that? Can I change that? I want to change it. I want to change it to Campbell. God damn it. Oh, well. Okay, Cardinals. What are the Cardinals going to do? Guard, defensive line, cornerback. Pick 16. Ezra-Who's climbing up boards. Mike Green apparently has some alleged sexual assault allegations against him. Jihad Campbell is more of that true linebacker. Maybe something like Jalen Lock. Maybe something like that Jaguars number 1 pick a couple years ago, Trayvon Walker. This one's tough. This board isn't in the order that I normally see it. So Shamar Stewart still isn't off the board here. I'm just scared of Shamar Stewart's production. Him only having, 4.5 sacks last year? It's not exactly like top 15, top 20 material. We're going off of basically hope more than production. Starks, I think that's a little high for Starks. They need defensive line. I'm going to go Ezaraku here to the Cardinals. I think that's a good pick for him. And then Bengals, lost out on that. If I could have, I think I would have drafted Ezaraku here. Maybe traded up for the Bengals. But I'm going to go, even with the allegations, Mike Green. I'm going to go Mike Green. They need an edge rusher. They absolutely need one, especially if they cannot keep Hendrickson. Okay, Seattle. Seattle. This is where it's kind of becoming a crapshoot. I don't really know too much about the needs of these other teams. But Seattle needs... Do they need a Matthew Golden? They just picked JSN a couple years ago, but they also got rid of DK. You know what? Let's go with Matthew Golden here for the Seahawks. Buccaneers. Who'd they lose? They need edge, linebacker, and defensive back. I think they might like Starks enough, but maybe Campbell? I think Campbell falling to them would be the best possible outcome for the Buccaneers. Broncos definitely don't need a safety. I could see them going Omarion Hampton here. I really feel like Hampton has become the number 2 running back on the board. And I think they just lost a running back, didn't they? So, yeah, I think they go running back round 1. Steelers. Still need a quarterback. But what are they going to do? Do they take the shot and take Jalen Milroe here? That's really tough. I don't think so. I also need a running back because they just lost Najee Harris. Tackle and safety. Starks really seems like a Steelers player to me. I don't know. If the Steelers don't trade up and go quarterback, I think they go Starks. The Chargers. Chargers need to be a little bit more explosive kind of everywhere on the field. They don't need Simmons. Do they take Igbuka? Maybe they take James Pierce Jr. Since they just lost Joey Bosa. He had a good combine too. You know what? I'm going to go James Pierce Jr. here for the Chargers. Green Bay. I could see Green Bay taking Luther Burden. Edge and cornerback as well. I think Scourton might be a good pick for them. Scourton. But since Stewart's still here, I'm going to go Stewart for the Packers. Vikings need running back, defensive interior, defensive back. I don't know much about Kenneth Grant. He didn't have any sacks last year. Only played 103 defensive snaps. Played in 13 games, though. What happened? Was he hurt? I did pretty damn well against Ohio State. I really, to be honest with you, do not know, but I'm going to go Kenneth Grant since it's a need for them. I don't see them taking a running back at 24. Houston is going to take a tackle. Houston's going to take Josh Simmons to me. I think that's a no-brainer pick for them since they got rid of like 2 or 3 of their starting offensive linemen this offseason. Yeah, no doubt about it. Jackson Dart has been tied to the Rams. I don't know about that. Although, what else are they gonna do? Jalen Milroe, Will Howard, no. I like Jackson Dart more than Will Howard, I think, but not as much as Milroe, because Milroe has shown flashes of greatness. Dart has been pretty good and pretty consistent, but I think he's more of a product of the Ole Miss offense. But if he's a product quarterback, he'd honestly do pretty damn well in Sean McVay's system. So you know what? Let's go Jackson Dart there. They got their quarterback for the future. Okay, Ravens, guard, edge, defensive back. I could see them taking a wide receiver too, though. Kelvin Banks has been projected as a guard a lot. More so than Campbell, I think. He's just a little bit more stiff from what I've seen. But even a Gray Zabel on that offensive line would make it one of the biggest offensive lines in the league, I think, along with Ronnie Stanley there. If you put him on that left guard side, ooh, man, that'd be an impenetrable wall. You know what? Let's go Gray Zabel. He can play anywhere on the line, too, basically, except for center. Lions. What are we going to do with you here? Wide receiver, guard, edge, linebacker. Ooh. Michael Williams or Nick Scorton paired up with Aiden Hutchinson when he gets back? Oh, that's dirty. Oh, do they like Michael Williams? I think they would probably like Michael Williams more than Scorton. That seems like more of a Lions pick. So we'll go Michael Williams there. Commanders. What are the Commanders doing? Running back, guard, edge, cornerback. They might go Kelvin Banks here. But this is far enough back in the end of the first round that I could see them going for a running back as well. Maybe I'm thinking like a Tootin, a Bashal Tootin, or maybe a Judkins or a Henderson. They almost have the luxury to take whoever they want here. They really do not have the draft for need. Oh, man. Brian Robinson, Travion Henderson. I'm high on Scadaboo, too. I don't know why he's so... Like, he's almost like a lock for day 3. Round 3 in a lot of these mock drafts. So I'm kind of staying away from him here at the end of the first round. They need a guard. Well, I don't know how much Daniels was pressured last year. But I think Banks might be a good pick for them here. Trey Amos. Josh Connerly. There could be a really big run on tackles here. I think that's probably what's going to happen. I'm going to go Kelvin Banks to the Commanders. I could be totally off base with these. Do not get me wrong. I do not know enough about these teams to confidently make these picks for them. But I'm trying my best. Like, I'm not trying to completely fuck these teams over. All right, Bills. Edge, linebacker, cornerback. Scorton seems like a Bills type of pick. And I think that's who I'm going to go with. Scorton to the Bills at number 30. And the Chiefs, guard, tackle, defensive lineman. Well, they definitely need a tackle. I think they'd go Connerly here. Just to protect Mahomes more because he got absolutely wrecked in that Super Bowl. And then Eagles. Do the Eagles really need a wide receiver? I mean, Dotson did pretty damn well as their wide receiver 3 for them in the playoffs. Do they take something more like a... I know they're all about best player available. So would they go like maybe a Tyler Booker? I could see them taking Booker here. That might be the move. Or they could go Arroyo. There have been talks about Goddard either not coming back or they're going to trade him or they're not going to renew his contract or something. So that could be a possibility. I actually kind of really like that. You know what? Elijah Arroyo. Okay, let's see here. What do we got? So this is the mock draft. Cam Ward, number 1. Travis Hunter, 2. Abdul Carter, 3. Will Campbell to the Patriots. Tyler Warren to the Jaguars. Shadur Sanders to the Raiders. Armand Membu to the Jets. Jalen Walker to the Panthers. Tetaroa McMillan to the Saints. Ashton Genty to the Bears. Will Johnson to the 49ers. Mason Graham to the Cowboys. Jahdae Barron to the Dolphins. Colston Loveland to the Colts. Colston Loveland. You know what? That's perfect. Walter Nolan to the Falcons. Donovan Ezaraku to the Cardinals. Although I wish I would have picked Jihad Campbell to the Falcons there. That would have been perfect. Mike Green to the Bengals. Matthew Golden to the Seahawks. Jihad Campbell to the Buccaneers. Omarion Hampton to the Broncos. Malachi Starks to the Steelers. James Pierce to the Chargers. Shamar Stewart to the Packers. Kenneth Grant to the Vikings. Josh Simmons to the Texans. Jackson Dart to the Rams. Gray Zabel to the Ravens. Michael Williams to the Lions. Kelvin Banks Jr. to the Commanders. Nick Scorton to the Bills. Josh Carnley Jr. to the Chiefs. And Elijah Arroyo to round it out to the Eagles at number 32. You know what? I think that's a pretty damn good first round, and I like that a lot, especially since we couldn't do any trades. You know what? Yeah, I really like that. I am really happy with how that turned out. All right, back to the end of the podcast. All right, last thing here after our mock draft. Everyone, I would suggest watching Pat McAfee's Big Night At. It was like really hyped, and it was directed by the same people that direct like WWE events, and it was in PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh. And what do you know? They brought out everyone. They brought out Sidney Crosby. They brought out Evgeny Malkin. They brought out Chris Letang, Ben Roethlisberger, Paul Skeens, but they did not bring out Andrew McCutchen, and people were bitching up a storm. But guess what? McCutchen hasn't been with the Pirates his whole career. I know that's probably unlikely to ever happen for any player, but having Skeens up on that stage with the rest of the Pittsburgh greats, McAfee is playing mind games with him. He wants him to be in that same tier of Pittsburgh legend that the other guys are on. Get that worm in Skeens' head right now. But things aren't looking so great. He did get the win last night for the Pirates, and he looked decent. 6 innings pitched, 6 strikeouts, 99 pitches. Stop laboring through the first 3 innings so much, Skeens. Jesus Christ. But yes, I am hoping that plants a little seed in his head to stay in Pittsburgh. I know it's not likely. A boy can hope. But alrighty, everybody, I believe that's it. Make sure to leave a like and comment on each video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hoagies and Pierogis is available on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok for no clips throughout the week. And we'll leave you with this. Munch.
Live from Central Pennsylvania with your host Ian DiCarlo, this is Hoagies and Pierogis.
The Ski Stash! The Ski Stash!
Welcome to the Big Ten. Patriots go Drake May. Let's go.